thought I'd better go through these artworks that I've been analysing and kind of differentiate what kind of the nature of the messages in them. I've been discussing optics, and there's not much of the actual use for the crossing of the eyes and entering a state of silence, slowed brain patterns, brain waves, stuff like that. So obviously that's not going to work for Da Vinci. So with the box, this is the lid, there's some of the geometry. These optical techniques do work as a precursor for bringing it to life or making these images animated, giving the movement. And it is, once you know, because there's certain things that should arise, or questions arise when you're looking at them, and if you ask the right questions, the connection, as I mentioned, it's like a quantum cryptography. Like, as we know, the quantum state is very sensitive when it comes to observation, and it's the same with this. When you're looking at the message, you're connecting, and the way, it's layered, like, dimensionally, and as I've discussed, the holographic principle in the box and also the mask. It reveals the nature of the science of what's occurring between your perception and the object. So Da Vinci's is kind of a simpler version than that, and there's not much use of optics other than, well, the kind of more special, like I talked about Sfumato, how he liked to blend everything together and the philosophy behind that, and I should have mentioned more about pointing out entropy and other little things like that. So when you combine these sciences with genetics and all that, it unifies it into, what the questions are. It gives the answers, and so the point behind all of Da Vinci's work has been pretty much missed, which is a shame. Like, when you look at the abstract language behind the Egyptian stuff, there is the symbolism does have specific meaning, and he has effectively taken the same language from Egypt and placed it into a modern form, and it's like the core of the language is in consciousness and awareness as well. That's why it can be transformed, because he's gone to the core of it, and he's taken that and used it. So someone mentioned the mirror. I know we did mirror writing, but the mirror work, we're not looking at that here right now in this second. But so when it comes to optics, so the story goes, like, he kept this piece, the Mona Lisa, and worked on it till the end of his life, and things point to that, like there's different things beneath it. I think Da Vinci liked to, build up the scene, or sometimes like there's an idea or something relating to it. But anyway, and you can see that through the x-rays, like they've analysed the crap out of this, and that's how we know the facial structure is based on possibly himself or his mother, and that's why the original Lisa, who he was commissioned to paint for, that's noted, is not the same Mona Lisa in the Louvre. And I pointed that out, and it's a key factor as to discovering who and what this painting really is. There's little details like the absence of the wedding ring, and she was Lisa Gioconda, I think her name was, who they thought this was. Well, it probably was based on an original meeting, because he had these concepts in his mind already, and it's like he completed them near the end of his life. So after I made observation that, it's a simple observation, by the person who recorded, he took to undertake Da Vinci took to undertake the job, and it was like documented somewhere. It's like, I think it was like maybe a margin note or some really obscure kind of clue that they pulled out, and like, oh yeah, that's Lisa Gioconda. But like, this is a construction of different things. This is what it really is a construction of different things, like different models to show the response and the functions that are occurring in the brain when it comes to deja vu, facial recognition, recognizing like certain, I guess, micro expressions from the subconscious, which he was closer to, so he was able to understand the relationship between the eye and the brain functions that these things can trigger. So yeah. So to further that story, which they took down the video, made a few comments like, hey, I laid this down a while ago, and you're like using it to freaking basically plagiarism. You gotta watch out what you put on the net. People just rip it off, make themselves famous. These academics, like Suspicious Observer, I've recently encountered it. They'll just fucking rip you. They'll bag your stuff, but like, take a few key things, manipulate it, and make it their own. Anyway, so yeah, the point has been missed on the entire, concepts that Da Vinci, and formulas, actual formulas that Da Vinci has put in there, and it gets clouded around, shrouded by these fucking occult freaks. So, yeah, as the story goes, like, this little kid who was working for their family, old Da Vinci, and like this kid didn't have a mother, so the father wanted like a mother figure portrait in the room, and he was asked to, like, this could have been the bullshit story from the researchers, because it makes it fit more so what I'm saying, and they took it in some lame direction. They took it back to the, like, basically the symbolist movement, like, oh, it just represents a mother. But what it is, like I said, the sense of familiarity. Like in science, deja vu is like you walk into a house and it's like you've been there before, but you've never been there. Like certain structures, like basic structures, are the same, which gives that deja vu. The concept of deja vu does go deeper, but that's one of the functionalities there. So the mind is like recognizing certain structures, and so I believe he's taken facial structure hidden. People can look different, but it's still there behind it. You can see it through like countless amounts of people. I've noticed it. It's like, oh yeah, okay, you must be from there maybe. But anyway, so that's what it's effectively done in that sense. He's like covered his science, because that's what he did. He got commissioned, and then he uses that as an opportunity to cover his science, and all the work is unified. So if he stood there for hours, didn't finish it if it didn't fit into, or tried to make it fit into the formula that he's using. So he has taken the abstract formulas from the Egyptian language and placed it within his own artwork. So we'll probably, next video, I'll probably go into, let's see, some of the hidden teachings and more of the similarities between the Egyptian and maybe a bit of Sumerian language, and just show how he's developed that in his art. And I just wanted to show the differences in techniques and the driving philosophies behind them, and clear up the actual whole point of all of Da Vinci's work. When you put it all together, it's consciousness is the true fertility, awareness. So it'll be probably go more into maybe the brain and perception. So you got like the two roads, and as well in here in the Mona Lisa, the one leading one way, back you got two different sides there, the rocky outcrops. We'll probably discuss the France situation a bit, just clear up a bit of propaganda. Just so I don't forget, that's what I will be doing, hopefully. So I'll probably title this one Optics, Ancient and Modern. Featuring Da Vinci or something.